What's up, guys? How's it going? We're live. Getting there. Harmac, how you doing?
Not bad, buddy. How's it going?
It is going. It's Friday, and you know what that means.
It's freezing. Oh, I mean, yes, drinking beer. Thirsty.
It's Friday. It's a Friday in February, so February 5th, 2021. In case you are watching live.
Yep. Go from yesterday. I woke up yesterday morning.
It was February 4th.
According to yeah, it was February 4th. Looked at the weather for outside to see how cold it was going to be, and hey, it was like 30 degrees in the morning. I'm like, all right, good. Got up this morning. It was 16 degrees. Feels like one with wind gusts at 40 miles an hour. Good transition. I took Allegra this morning, and I swear it didn't work. With the weather change, it didn't fucking work.
I detest this time of year. This is like the worst.
I hate it. Yeah, I freaking hate it.
I don't know. I don't know if I hate July and August, I think. Like, I hate July, August, January, and February. If I could take those months out of the year and just...
So you want spring and fall?
I want spring and fall. But, like, you know, I say that, but then, like, you know, there's times where I'll, you know, I look at the snow outside, and it's better when I don't have to drive in it. Like, I found that out. Because I'm like, all right, well, I will have to shovel this or snow blow it, depending on the situation. But I'm like, at least I don't have to drive in it, so I'm a little less like, oh, it's going to snow again. Like, you know, I just stopped looking at the weather altogether. The only reason I know it's so cold is just word of mouth. You know, we lost heat last Friday, so I got my mom, you know, calling me today like, you got heat? You got heat? I'm like, yeah, heat's on. It's down to 67, 68, you know, up there, which means down here it's probably close to 63, 64, but it's, you know,
well, you're in the subterranean skybox. It tends to get cooler down there.
I like to keep things cool down here in the cave. Looks darker down here. It's darker down here than it is. It should not be this dark. I don't know what is going on with this camera today. I've reset it like 2 times, and it keeps like it.
That's because Windows, unless you use the actual Logitech program, Windows will constantly reset it every time. It never saves the settings, even though it says it should. It doesn't. It doesn't save the. That's why No, but that's why I use the Logitech thing. The Logitech program is simply for that reason.
Now look, if I turn my desk, my light up here off.
Yeah.
Like, look at now. Like, it's not even that dark, but I turn it back on. Anyway, what's going on, chat? UNC Phil in the house. Yorkshire Pure Evil Pudding Gaming. Hey up, how's it going? Good morning. And yes, I'm pissed up drunk. Pissed up or pissed off? That's, you know, you're pissed off drunk. That's 2 different things.
According to CD-RAMA, it's 60 in California. You can go suck it. Seriously.
Yeah.
It got up to hey, it was warm here for February. It got up to 15. Yeah. I mean, it started out at 2, but it got up to 15. It was kind of a warm streak.
I mean, you gotta look at it this way. It could be worse. I think we've had, and I wouldn't say a lenient winter, but like it could be a lot worse because it snowed a lot less than it could have. Like the first time it snowed, we got bombed. Like it was like, you know, that was that time we got like 2 feet of snow. You remember that? Like
oh yeah. Oh God. Was that the one where we did the redo with Eric?
No, no. I'm talking like as in like a month ago, like December.
Oh, you guys did, but then this past one we got nailed. You didn't.
Yeah. So. Well, that's your penance for missing the first one because that one was. Now that was the worst snowfall since that Martin Luther King Day 2 years ago when that happened. That's when you got snowed in up here.
Yeah, I remember that. I can honestly say though, this is. The last time we had this much snow was probably about 10 years ago. I mean, we don't get that much. You guys get a lot of the lake effect stuff. And yeah, CD-RAMA, what is snow? Watch White Christmas. Okay. Anyway, you'll get an idea. put it this way: what is snow? Walk into an ice box, like those walk-in freezers, okay, and just pretend white stuff is falling. It's the same thing,
Mm.
you know. But no. What I could say is we don't get a lot of the lake effect snow, so 9 times out of 10 it only snows just a little. We might get like 3 or 4 inches here and there, but man, when it hits us in the face like it did this past week, I was like, oh man, Al's gonna get nailed, because all I could think about was this thing's gonna dump a foot, plus you're gonna get lake effect. I'm like, he's gonna get like 2 feet of snow. And sure as shit, it missed you.
No,
Right to the south of you.
because I was waiting. I had my snowblower ready. I'm like, I'm waiting on it, and then I had it gassed up, ready to go, and nothing happened. I think we got an inch. I was like, okay. Now I wanted to go to the store, I don't know, like an hour ago to go get refreshments for this weekend.
Yeah.
And there's like another inch on the ground. I'm like, when the hell did this happen? You know.
Yep.
And on top of that, it's now cold as balls. So
yeah.
So my whole driveway, I had to laugh at something that happened with LOV Eric. I'll compliment him on this one. This was funny. So like,
a compliment. Whoa, that's a rarity.
So like
time.
it was kind of warm last night, where it was snowing but like not sticking. So therefore, when it hit the ground, it would make things wet. You know what I mean? Like it would not accumulate, but it was making the ground wet. It was just snowing. So,
it was turning into water. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was running water.
It didn't. It wasn't warm enough for it to stick. So
right.
now it's created these sheets of ice up and down my driveway and on my stairway is up to the porch, and then like outside of my house, like in the walkway.
Yeah.
So Eric had a package on the porch, so he went to go get it, and he opened the front door, and there's this lady like walking her dog in 0-degree weather or whatever it is, 15 outside, and she's like, "Oh, it'd be nice if." She didn't know Eric was out there. She didn't know Eric opened the door. She's like, it'd be nice if people shoveled and de-iced the walkway. And he's like, listen, bitch, it's cold out. Who walks their dog? You know, I'm like, it's too cold to shovel in, you know, the walkway from the inch that we got last night that's now encased in ice overnight. You know what I mean? So he let her have it. And then he's like, oh, by the way, your dog has a nice collar. So like she stopped like in mid walk. She was stunned because she thought no one heard her. So I had to give him a compliment on that, because he was like, as soon as he opened the door, we heard it, and he's like, I ain't letting her get away with that. So
no. I mean, I'll admit,
now, did he shovel it? No, he did not.
No, but I hate it when people. Well, see, here's the thing, and a lot of people don't seem to understand. Oh, and by the way, CD Rami, yeah, he's waiting for work. I guess he's at work. He goes, it's dead, so he's just watching us. So thanks.
Nice. All right.
The one thing that people I don't think they know, at least a lot of people don't, a lot of homeowners don't, which is weird. You'd think they would. You're responsible for shoveling that sidewalk. If you don't, and somebody falls and breaks their leg, you pay for it, not the city, because it is your responsibility to make sure that that sidewalk is maintained. And a lot of people don't agree with that, but that's the way it is. And so because I hate it, also hate it here in Chicago, especially because if people don't shovel their sidewalks, people start walking in the fucking street, and you're trying to drive and avoid them at the same time.
See, I hate people like that. So what I will do when I have my snowblower out is I will purposely snowblow into the walkway, so people cannot walk through there. If they want to walk through there, they'll walk through about a foot of snow. And if they have the boots for it, go for it. You're an idiot anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but yeah,
I do not agree with that.
Yeah, there's just some areas where they won't shovel, so then the people are forced to walk out in like busy streets and shit. And it's like, yeah, that's dangerous shit, you know. I mean, but I that, you know, like I said, I mean, a lot of people just don't know though that if somebody walks in front of your house and they break their ankle because you didn't maintain the sidewalk, it's your bill. You know, your homeowner's insurance is paying for it.
I would like to see them try right now during COVID.
They will.
To get into a courthouse, believe me.
Oh no, they won't take you into court. The city will just fine you, and you will have to pay it.
They're doing virtual court right now. I know, because I used to have to set those up.
Well, trust me, it's a battle you're not going to win. It ranks right up there with opening your car door into oncoming traffic and a car hits your door. It's your fault, so therefore, you're paying for the other car's damage and your own.
By the way, to answer
So
Evil's question, that's not in every city. It may be in Chicago. I don't think it's here, actually.
no,
You're
it's
supposed
almost
to as a
universal.
courtesy, but in this city, I don't believe it's required. Because
Wow.
when I read my rules when I got my house 20 years ago,
Yeah.
there was nothing like that said anything. Now, should I maintain my sidewalks? Probably. But how
Yeah.
about don't walk when it snowed out? Don't walk your fucking dog in 0 to 15-degree weather. How about that?
Yeah, some people are just glutton for punishment, man. they just, I think a lot of them are hoping they'll get hurt because they want the attention.
Have the
That's my
attention.
guess, anyway.
That's fine. Let's see. Here's the chat. In Parma, Del Griffith. I don't know about that in Cleveland, though. I don't believe it is. Unless something's changed and I've not seen it. That's a possibility. I'll have to look into that.
I don't know.
I'll look into that.
Been this.
I've never. I mean, I do. Like I said, I will, if I can, I will maintain the sidewalks when I have my snowblower. But like when it bombed us like a month or two ago,
Yeah.
I just shoveled. I put all the snow on that walkway, and I'm like, fuck it, because where am I gonna put the snow? Am I gonna mound it up 6 feet high on the, on the front lawn? Not the front lawn, but the tree lawn. I mean, where's it gonna go? It's got to go somewhere.
When I do mine, I just put it right on the tree lawn.
Yeah.
You might as well.
Eric has his snow shovel ready. I'm sure he does. I'm sure.
It's another 3-4 months of this.
Yeah. TP Poker says, if someone slipped in front of my property, I'd help them up, bring them side to have a drink of water, and threaten them. I like how you offer them the water. Like, you don't even give them like a hot cocoa or anything. It's like, here, have a water.
Here's some water. Now, bitch, you sue me, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
And I bet you give them tap too, right? Probably. They ain't good enough for that Aquafina.
No one's good for Aquafina. It comes from a hose. It is not filled from a spring. That's literally Pepsi water. That's all that is.
Let's see.
That's funny.
This girl I used to pork moved to Parma. Very cute girl. Parma, Ohio, like where the Miz is from. That's where Del Griffith is from. A lot of people don't know that. His address is 1224. I'm just kidding.
1224 Know Your Role
Boulevard. Who else is going to maintain the sidewalk? Skates? Does Skates shovel anything over there? Does he do anything?
He's always used. No, there's a guy that has a 4-wheeler with a plow on it who does it. It's like his toy, so he likes doing it. So he basically does that, and I pay him to do my driveway because it's like 80 feet fucking long. So it's like, yeah, no, I don't have a plow good enough to do that driveway. I've got an electric plow that I got for Christmas years ago. That's good for like 6 inches of snow. As soon as it goes over that, I'm screwed. So, yeah. So this past snow, and this was that wet, heavy shit. There's no way. So luckily he plowed it. I paid him like $30.
That's why I bought a snowblower. It was the best investment I ever had, and it's not that bad to do it. Like, you just have to. Now, when you got the wet shit, then that's awful.
That's hard for any snowblower
because it clogs.
Unless you got those industrial ones that like businesses use, like those big fucking ones, the ones that are like cost like $2,000.
Yep.
Those that they'll go right through wet snow, no problem. But any store-bought one, like $300-400 one, they're gonna clog in this shit. This isn't that light fluffy stuff. This is heavy heart attack snow, man. No joke.
On top of that, I even did something really stupid with it. After it kept clogging, I was shoveling a path for my dogs to be able to get to the backyard at the time. And I made the path, and then off to the side, I have a tarp where we put all of our bar, the stuff. I know Harmac knows this. I'm trying to explain this to everybody else, but
yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
We have yard furniture. We have like a bar, and we have like a fire table that we have to, we put up for the year. So we put it in the back of the house and tarp it. you know, and the tarp is huge, so it like comes out into the yard a little bit. So I I swear it was very windy, and I think it moved it as I was walking because I'm pushing the snowblower, and all of a sudden I hear, and I'm like,
Oh no.
what was that? I'm like, I either ran over one of my dogs, or
Muffy.
or or I got something, you know. So I look, and I fucking sucked up the tarp into the snowblower, and it ripped and got all around the blades. It was a fucking nightmare. It took
Oh,
me an
getting that
hour.
shit.
It took me an hour out there on top of what I've already done to untangle it, and I had to cut it with a blade, you know, to get it out of there.
Yep. Yep.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that was the worst, stupidest thing.
I
It,
can
it
honestly say
still
I've
works,
never
by
done
the way.
that,
I
but-
fixed it. I fixed it. It works.
Well, yeah, you just untangle it; it'll work fine. You just, as long as you didn't bend that drive shaft of it and make it.
I was like, man, I'm gonna bend this thing trying to rip the, you know,
Yeah.
the tarp out of
'Cause-
there, but luckily, man, that could have been
Yeah,
that could have been bad.
Yeah, I had one before this one that I got. I had another one. This was a cheapy electric one. Actually, no, it was a gas powered one, and it was really cheap though. I mean, it was like, you know, like $150 thing, you know. And we had this 2 foot of snow, and I'm trying to plow it with it, you know. And yeah, I ended up bending it, and then, but it did plow it. It plowed it all. I was impressed, but after that, it would, you turn it on, and it would just vibrate like crazy, and eventually something gave way, and the motor would run, but the blades in the front wouldn't spin anymore. And then when I looked at it, it completely vibrated the bolt and sheared it off. So I'm like, well, that's done.
I had something like that happen once. I had an old snow before I got the one I have now. I bought out of a yard sale. Somebody was selling like this snowblower from like the 80s, but they only wanted like $30 for it. And she's like, it works. She's like, it just rattles a hell of a lot when you start it. So I put, and this is the older ones where you have to mix gasoline with the
Yeah, the 2 cycle engines.
yes, you have to with the fluid. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you have to, it's
engine
oil. It's
yeah.
literally, it's gas and oil, because the 2 cycle engines don't have an oil tank. So,
So-
it actually uses the fuel to oil itself.
And
Yeah.
then I don't know what happened, but I stupidly misplaced that container I had it in. So I may have dumped that um in my lawnmower at some point. I don't know. I don't know where it went. But
That's
it's
going to
gone.
make a little bit of smoke.
Well,
'Cause,
yeah.
Basically what you're doing is you're, in a sense, not quite, but you're kind of turning the gas into unleaded gas into
Well,
leaded
I don't know
gas.
when it happened or when it was, but I forgot I did it. So anyway, but this old one I had, I started it to plow one day, and this thing like fucking rattled out of its shell basically, and the blades like just fell out of it. It was rattling so much. And I'm like, well, that's the end of this thing, you know. Grabbed a shovel and did the rest. It did get me about 3 or 4 years of use, though. And for $30, you know,
For $30, that's not bad.
that got me 3 or 4
I
years
can't
of use
complain.
outside of the annoyance of having to mix the fluids, you know. But
That's why I actually just started buying the electric, because the electric ones have actually gotten better over the years. Actually, some of them are better than the gas ones now, because they got more torque to them, so they're actually not too bad in this type of snow. The only problem is you know, you need a fucking cord, unless you get ones that are like those battery operated ones, but those are expensive as hell, so I don't even bother. But the one I got, I swear, it'll go through 6 inches of heavy ass snow, no problem.
I think Roomba needs to make one.
That would be awesome.
If Roomba made a snowblower that just went out and was like, you know, and just did everything,
Yeah.
that would be all right. That would be ultimate lazy. That'd be like LOV Eric level lazy. Like you got
Well, what a lot of-
lazy, and then you've got like, you know.
Well, if you got money, what you can do is, when they concrete your driveway, they'll also put in hose underneath it that'll run like back and forth all the way down it, and it'll just run hot water through it, so your driveway stays warm the entire time. The snow will never freeze to it.
I have heard that some driveways do that,
Yeah.
but
Especially ones that are like on big hills. Those usually have them, because there's just, you know, I mean, Christ, you'll never get up it, you know.
apparently
not to mention and slide down it.
apparently the mixing fluids thing has given TP Poker some new pickup lines. Hey baby,
Oh,
want to
God.
mix up some fluids?
You wanna... Trust me, I'm a doctor. Now open your blouse and say ah.
I'm sure you plowed it all right. Man, Del Griffith is a little bit snappy tonight. A little snappy.
Oh boy.
A little
Well,
snappy,
it's,
Del Griffith.
Mr. Poopy Pants.
Mr. Parma Poopy Pants over there. He's a little snappy tonight.
Oh man. Yeah, no. So that, like I said, I mean, it's all done now and good, but like the guy's really cool. Like he plowed the driveway and he does the front sidewalk like up and down the entire block. But obviously I had to get like the steps, the back walkway and the front walkway. And I'll tell you something, man. This shit was no joke. It was heavy. I mean, it felt like lifting a dead body every time you fucking took a shovel.
You know
full
what
of this
lifting a
stuff.
dead body's like?
What?
I'm asking you. You said it was.
Well,
like
I would
lifting a dead
imagine.
body.
I would
You have a
imagine.
secret life
It's
you're
just-
not telling us about?
No, no. It's just the snow is nothing but dead weight. So I mean, it's you're lifting it. It's not helping you in any way. So it took me just the back walkway and the back steps, the front steps and the front walkway. I mean, they're literally not 15 feet long each. And it took me over an hour and a half to get that stuff done because the snow was so high and so heavy. It was unbelievable. By the time I was done, man, my arms were killing me. It was horrible.
All right, let's we're talking about snowblowers here. We'll talk about whatever. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. If you guys have anything
Definitely
you want to talk about, shout it out, whether if you're over in Harmac 1 or if you're in Slash Streams land. So we got some bits coming in. Speaking of which, it is time to do the weekly what the hell are we drinking this week? We really need a bumper for this, I guess. We're gonna have to come up with something.
Oh yeah.
I don't have any. I don't really have anything that goes with this right now. I don't think. Not anything that's gonna get us a hit on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit, right? Yeah.
So
Any small little jingle of a beer jingle, you're gonna get copyright.
all right, in honor of you playing Metal Gear, this will be the for the week. There we go. All right, what are we drinking this week?
Me, I am drinking my normal Mick Ultra. That's my go-to thing.
There we go. Keep it boring. I got a 20-pack tonight. I couldn't pass up the deal, man. This guy's got these 20-packs up at the store.
Really?
And it's like, it makes the most sense. They're like, it's like $16. But man, it just makes some, because if you buy a 12-pack, you're already paying like 12, something like that.
Yeah.
11 or 12 bucks. $16, you get the 20-pack. So I'm like, might as well. He's like, an extra $5. He's like, basically how the guy did this guy was like a hell of a salesman, by the way. You know that guy who runs like the Easy Mart up there, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you come up, all right. So he's like the ultimate beer upseller, because I had a 12-pack last week or something like that, and he's like, listen, you can buy this 12-pack, and that's cool. He's like, but for an extra $5, you can get another eight beers. No, eight.
8 beers. Yeah,
8 beers.
8 beers. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, there's a 20-pack. It's like $16. He's like, hell of a deal. I'm like, all right, now you're speaking my language. So cheers to Phil and his 5 Bible thump bits that he threw down.
Bible thump bits. Nice.
You are going to hell, sir. Let's see here.
Those were meant for God, man.
TP Poker, do you have the Mario Joy-Con grip? I don't have any Joy-Con grip unless it's the one that came with the Nintendo Switch. I don't have any. I have a Zelda Joy-Con, which has got a D-pad on it. That is the only thing I've replaced. I don't have anything else. I was going to pre-order the new Mario game for the Switch today and take it to my nephew's house next week, to surprise them so they could play it. And then my sister shot that down, so I don't even know if I'm going to pre-order now. They're wrapped up in so much stuff right now. Like, I don't know, they've got like, she's trying to get them into sports and stuff, and she doesn't like, I'm not going to say she's a buzzkill. I mean, she just, I don't know. She's got the one playing a musical instrument, goes to classes now on the weekends, and then the other one is doing something with sports. I don't even know what they can do right now because of COVID. So like, I think they do some sort of social distancing thing, but because schools are back in now. So like they see each other during the week, but I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it, but so she canceled on me for that.
Well, that's yeah. No offense. I mean, I have nothing against your sister at all, but I hate when parents try to force their kids to do stuff. It's like, look, I understand you want them to get out there and experience life. That makes sense, but and I admit, when I was younger, I tried sports. I found out it wasn't my thing, you know?
She gets them involved in stuff because like a couple years ago they got the Switch and they were very like into it and they started getting into like gaming, and then my brother-in-law got a PS4 about 6 months ago, a PS4 Pro rather, and he started letting them play on that. So she said that they were getting to the point where it was excessive, and sees people like a certain LOV who can't separate, So she's like, well, I can't have him. I can't have him acting like that. So
Well, no,
Not
that's, look,
you know what? If that's what you do, that's what you do. I have, like, look at my fucking back wall back here. You know what I did all my life, but
yeah, but you also didn't. You weren't like these people that you get up, you hop on, you're on till you go to bed.
No, I
mean, we all.
If I didn't stream all like during the week, I probably would barely get any time to play. I get game time in because I stream, and that's
yeah.
I've proved to my wife that it's worth it to do this. That took a lot, so I get my 2 hours a night or hour and a half a night. But
it was the same thing with Jackie. She's like, I don't understand why you guys have to do this every night. Blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden I go, yeah, you know that food we had when we went up there? And he goes, yeah, you're welcome.
You know how I
She's like, all of a sudden, shut her up.
You know how I shut mine up? She goes, every time I hear this like once a month. I don't understand why it's got to be Monday through Friday. It was Monday through Thursday, or sorry, when we did the escape, it was just Fridays, and then you did the rock block. It was Wednesdays and Fridays, and now it's Monday through Fridays. I'm like, you want to know what's different now, and you want to know why? And I handed her my Twitch W2.
There you go. Now, granted, I
shut her up.
I didn't get a W2 this year, but I'm working on it. It'll happen one day.
With the way things are going, I'll probably end up owing. Who knows? Who knows? It wasn't a lot. I'm not trying to say that.
No.
Don't get me wrong. It wasn't anything substantial. But when I take that as an argument...
I'll quit his job. He's doing this full time now.
I don't work anymore, guys. I took the LOV Eric approach, and I took less hours so I could concentrate more on myself.
I'm not feeling it today, so I'm just going to game. Yeah. No, I get like my sister's kind of the same way as yours is. Her son has the same eye problem I do. So therefore anything that's on a screen, bright colors, stuff like that, he is just freaking just invested in, and I could tell right off the bat, he's not going to be into sports, not basically because he can't play it. It's eyesight wise, even with football, it's hard for me in him to see that ball. Not to mention, I tried baseball. That was I think my parents just put me in that for a laugh. But
I'd put you in basketball if I wanted to laugh, I think.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh yeah. Basketball
or soccer or some sort of contact sport.
I was in soccer. Soccer, and they put me exactly where they would put a blind kid, defense, because the ball would almost never show up.
No goalie action?
No, Fob. Really? Have better luck putting an ant in that goal. Anyway, but I told her, I'm like, he's going to be really into electronics. I'm going to guarantee you this. And she's like, well, he's not going to be gaming all the time. I'm like, I'm not saying that. I go, but to deny him, because she was originally saying, I'm not going to allow him to play games. I'm like, you're going to make him, I told my sister,
first of all, she must not know you as well as she thinks she knows you, because for a while you didn't play anything. And then until you started streaming, and that really realistically,
it gave me the excuse to start doing it.
Yeah, but you're playing 2 hours. Well, unless you play till 1 o'clock. We have a clip about that coming up.
I did that the night before. Yeah.
But I mean, unless you're doing 2 hours a night, and that's late night, so your wife is already pretty much in bed,
Yeah.
and it's not like you're avoiding anything to do this.
That's why me and you've always done it later at night. So,
What else
'cause we're
would
married,
What else would you be doing? You'd be watching TV, like anybody else.
She'd be going, especially because it'd be Monday through Friday. I mean, I take her to work every morning. Me and her literally start at the same time, so I could just drop her off. And I mean, so we're both up at freaking 5:45 in the morning. So she's usually cashed out at about 8:30. So from 8:30, and I'm not an early to bed guy unless I'm sick. So I'm good till about close to midnight, and then I'm crashed. So for those couple hours, I would just be sitting there watching TV or something. I mean, so this at least gives me something to do. I mean, I'd be literally sitting there and just eating potato chips and shit because I'd be bored.
Well,
so at least this keeps my mind off of it.
Yeah.
No, it does. It really does.
Exactly.
And it's also introducing me to games that I didn't think I'd like and I ended up liking. And so like when I was telling my sister, who was sitting there going, well, he's not going to be playing video games. I'm like, if you do that, and I go, just take it from me because I know what I'm talking about because my parents did not have much money, so therefore I didn't get a Nintendo until 1990. And so while everyone was at school talking about the latest Nintendo game, I was sitting over there like playing with like a stick going, my dad says this is a video game. They didn't
even buy you a Tiger handheld, like one of those little,
No, my parents understood video games. They just couldn't afford it. So I told my sister, wow, nice.
Got a resub from UNC Phil. I had to throw that out there. We got to drink to that here.
Yes, we do. Chug a lug, baby.
Anyway.
Thank you, Phil. But yeah, so I told her, I'm like, you can't do that. I go, especially this day. I go, you can't do that. This day and age, telling them that they can't play a video game, he's going to go to school and completely have nothing to talk about. I'm like, because he's not, I can tell you right now, I told her, I'm like, he's not going to be into sports. So, like, right now, only sport I watch is hockey. And even that, I don't even watch a lot of. I could care less about baseball or golf unless I'm playing it on the PS4. Because as far as I'm concerned, watching them without doing something is boring as hell.
Oh, shit. I missed another week of that.
That's all right. Somebody played mine. I don't know how the hell that happened, but either that or I played it and don't remember. But
anyway, yeah.
No, I didn't do it drunk because he started it on. Oh well, if he started it Saturday, maybe I did and I just don't remember. Maybe. But I told her he's not going to be into sports, so he's not going to know. So he's not going to have anything to relate with the jocks at all. I go, he's going to have the eyesight problem, which is going to kind of make him an easy target as it is. I go, give him at least something to talk about. Get him a PlayStation, get him some games that are popular, and obviously, just homework gets done first.
How
before
old is
you
he?
Can do that. Right now, I mean, he's only 4
Start
or 3.
Start him off with a Switch. That way she can take it away from him. Put it up somewhere when she's not using it. Or when he needs to
kid.
focus.
I mean, right. No, he is definitely a good kid, but I mean, it's just there's no getting around it. I know he's going to be into video games and electronics. I can just tell already. And she wants him to be like, go outside and play. I'm like, they will. I go, and that's how my parents did it with me. When he finally got me a Nintendo, it was like, okay, these are the times you can play it, and that's it. And that's how it would work. I mean, it worked fine, and I was also told, and if it interrupts your school and your grades start dropping, I'm taking it away. It was that simple, and I told her, I'm like, that's what you do. I mean, obviously don't let it be a babysitter. That's the worst thing you can do, but at least let him play games that his friends are playing. So when he goes to school, he has something to talk about. If not, he's going to be like I was and
a nerd,
be that one kid in the corner.
Nerd.
Be a nerd with big print books and no friends because he couldn't find anything to talk about. So yeah, I told her, don't do that. I'm like, this day and age, all kids, including girls, are playing video games. Now, granted, Might not be PlayStation, might not be Xbox, it might be the Switch, you know, which I don't blame them. So,
Yeah, you got to start them off on something
right,
more kid friendly,
right.
I think.
Oh no, that and it makes total sense. It's just that her saying, "I'm not going to allow him to play any video games." I'm like, you're going to make him be the nerd.
My sister said the same thing when she had her firstborn, because I said, I'm going to spoil my nephews, and play games with them as they grow up. And she goes, "Oh, they're not going to be doing all that, blah blah." And then what changed her was the first time when he was like 3 or 4, when I brought over the NES Classic over
Yeah.
there, and my sister used to play Super Mario 3 when we were younger. That's what we would play, and he played it. That was his first game. Out of anything out, that's his first game he's ever played was Super Mario 3. And to this day on the Switch, like it's on that Nintendo eShop
Right.
online service, to this day he will fire up Super Mario 3. And again, this is like a 30-year-old plus game that he's
Roughly,
playing.
no,
That
came
he's
out in
interested in. It just shows you
Came out in '89. Yeah.
yeah, it just shows you it ages very well.
Yorkshire Pudding says, "Hail to all the nerds."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
amen to that.
So
No, but
that was an answer to TP Poker's. Do you have the Mario Joy-Con grip? No.
yeah.
That was the
I don't know
very
how the hell
long
we
answer.
ended up. Yeah, no, so, so I did finally convince her because now she's noticing it because anything electronic that he's got, he is just constantly into, but he loves to read too. So I told her I told her don't get him like Call of Duty and shit like that. Get him
At
like
4 years old? No.
No. I'm saying when he gets older, don't
Start
get
him
him into
off-
Call of Duty. Give him like the games that we had when we were younger.
Start him
like,
off with Mario or
Yeah.
Minecraft or something that the kids are Roblox or whatever.
Right. I mean, so she's slowly coming around. She's slowly seeing it now. But now his brother, on the other hand, he's not really into that shit. He's more in, you can tell he's going to be more into sports because he's more daring and, is willing to freaking kill himself to just achieve a goal. I mean, it's funny to watch. I mean, at 2 years old, he was trying to do the stairs. It's like, no, stop it. And then you get pissed off when you take him away from it. So it was like, this kid's going to be just one of those guys that you're going to put into, here you go. Get to that guy, kill him. And he's just, rah! You could just see it happening. So that'll be interesting when he gets older.
Just relate, because I'm gonna go back and read the rest of the chatter, but just because it's related, TP Poker says my son is 5. He has beaten Mario Odyssey and probably plays about 30 different Switch games. Kid is a savant. Now he loves Roblox on Xbox and he plays on iPad.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, whatever. As long as it, they're keeping in the now and they have something to talk about with their friends at school. That's all that matters. I mean, there's only 2 types of kids, and I don't care what they say today. Times are the same. Bullies are the same. I don't care. I mean, yeah, they have that no tolerance shit. Okay, right. Kids are going to be kids. But you're going to have your 2 classes. You're going to have the jocks, and you're going to have the nerds. That's it. That's the way it's always been.
mean,
So you're
I
going to have
don't
the
know
guys that are into sports.
I think things have blended a little bit different. Like, I mean,
Well, yeah, but
I don't think anybody calls anybody that plays sports a jock anymore. I think you may be dating yourself.
No. I'm just, yeah, you're right. I am, because I don't really know today. I mean, yeah, is it as defined as it was when we were kids? No. But it's still the same. I mean, you're going to go with the group that you have more in common with. And if you're that person that somehow is in between those 2, you've got nowhere to go. So, and I ended up being that kid that was in between those 2. Had nothing to relate with jocks with, had nothing to relate with gamers with. So I was stuck in the middle and was literally a kind of outcast. Huh?
TP Poker says, and the sluts.
Yeah, and the sluts.
Jocks,
Well,
nerds, and sluts.
That's not till high school. Please don't say that was in grade school. Oh, it might be in grade school nowadays.
Oh, it might.
It might have been.
It might.
Might have been back then too, and we was just more hush hush about it. I don't know.
Phil says they're already too old for Mario. You're never too old for Mario.
Oh,
you're
hell
never
no.
too old for Mario, sir.
No, you're not.
My 5-year-old wants every Mario accessory he sees and toys.
It's kind of hard to believe that a dude that started out as a plumber fighting Donkey Kong And back in 1979, or 1980, depending, is still going strong today and is still a hell of a mascot. I mean, that's literally 40 years. I mean, that's insane.
you have to compare that to something of like Mickey Mouse or Bugs Bunny. Like you show any kid a
Yeah.
Disney cartoon with Mickey Mouse and or Donald Duck,
Oh,
or
they'll.
any, then they're
Oh yeah.
easily they get that attraction. They like that. It's like
Oh
it
yeah.
appeals to every, and it's like when they play Mario, it's like it's bright, it's vibrant, it's fun looking, it's just enough challenge to get you to say, "Oh, I want to go back and try that again." And I think that's
Yes.
what even like like TP Poker's kid there, he probably had that experience. So I think it does. I think it ages just fine. I think Phil. I think
Oh
Phil
yeah.
had something happen. Phil had a bad Nintendo experience. I think there
Well, I think
was
we all did with the flawed box model that we were stuck with. But
I no. I think that Phil. I think Phil never got a Nintendo. I think Phil wanted a Nintendo, and then like Santa never brought him one. So
well,
by
I'm
the
with
by
you,
the way,
Phil.
this brings me to a point. If you've never seen the movie Fat Man yet, go watch it. It's hilarious. But Phil reminds me of the kid in Fat Man who wanted something, didn't get it, and then he puts a hit out on Santa. That is Phil.
Well, I mean, I can see that, but
Seriously,
I mean,
watch that
Phil, I'm with
movie.
you.
Watch that movie. It is fucking great.
Well, shit, Phil. By the time I got an actual Nintendo, the freaking Super Nintendo was already out, so I was always behind the times. I didn't have the only other gaming system. All right, here's the gaming systems that I had from my childhood. I had the original Atari 2600 that my dad bought when we were living in Minnesota. So I was like 5 at the time when he bought that. When we moved from Minnesota to here, we got a Texas Instruments TI-99A computer, which also played ROM games, and it was mainly for learning. But I mean, we had Donkey Kong, Miss Pac-Man, shit like that. And then nothing until 1990 when I got when I got an NES and the Super NES was out. So I was just always behind the times. And it wasn't until I finally got my own job when I just took a chance and bought a PlayStation. And I'm glad I did. I mean, that was a lucky choice. And the only reason I bought the PlayStation was I understood that, CDs hold more info than the cartridges at the time could. So I'm like, the games probably look and sound better. If anything, because me being, eyesight wise, it wasn't really about graphics to me, it was about sound. So I knew the CD quality sound would probably be better. And that's the only reason I stuck with it. So yeah, it wasn't until I bought a PlayStation when I finally caught up with everybody. So
Captain Lou
I get you,
Albano
Phil.
is Mario. My son watched that. Oh, the Mario from yeah, that's on Netflix, I think.
It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah, dude, every time I got home from school in the 80s, that's what the hell I was watching.
Shake your hips from side to side. Come on, everybody now, do the Mario.
I would play that, but I'd probably get DMCA.
Yeah, oh, big time. But yeah, that is. I swear that is up on Netflix.
I think it's on Netflix. It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, I saw it.
Shale 101, who dropped a couple of Harmako slashes for Harmakos up there. I miss Captain N. Dude, I miss Captain N as well. That was a great show.
Oh my god, Captain N.
I used to watch that on Saturday mornings when I'd wake up.
Hell yeah.
I'd wake up, I'd watch that and eat my cereal.
Oh my god. That's the one thing, I mean, these kids will never understand because now it's available every day, but we would look forward to Saturday morning just for the cartoons, man. Now you got the Cartoon Network and all this shit. So there is no Saturday morning cartoons anymore, but I remember looking forward to that all the time. I mean, because you had everything. You had, I mean, as stupid as it may sound now, but I loved watching the Smurfs. I loved watching Alvin and the Chipmunks.
There's a channel locally. I think it's syndicated, but it's because I've been exploring getting an antenna on my house again because I'm tired of paying for cable, or I'm tired of paying for Hulu. I should say it's too damn expensive. So I bought an antenna and put it. I didn't mount it on my roof yet. I just have it up in one of my bedrooms. I wanted to see if it worked. And there is a local channel here that actually started airing Saturday morning cartoons.
No shit.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they have like all of the '80s ones. Like, I think they had like the Gummy Bears and
Oh my god.
there
I
was a
still
bunch
remember
of
almost all those.
Looney Tune.
I
The Looney Tune shows were on there. I think Ghostbusters
Bugs
was.
Bunny Roadrunner.
Yeah, like they're
oh my
airing
God, yeah.
all that stuff in a block on Saturday morning. So if you have an antenna,
Nice.
you likely get it in your area. I looked that up, but they made a big deal out of this. We're bringing
yeah.
back cartoons thing. It's probably owned by like CBS or something.
There was so many good ones back then. I mean, granted, yeah, there's good cartoons now for kids. I get that, but I mean, oh my god, when we were kids, I mean, that was just it was perfect. You know, you had, like I said, you had, Captain N. You had the Smurfs, Heathcliff. You had Garfield. You had
Teenage
oh my
Mutant Ninja
God, what was
Turtles. I mean, there was all kinds of
TMNT. He-Man. You had He-Man. You had Thundercats. You had G.I. Joe.
I'm not
You had
talking about
Transformers.
that new crap, that new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. Though.
No.
I
No,
can't.
the
Dude,
real Ghostbusters.
Dude, have you seen? Again, I don't mean to date myself here, but oh my god, the redesigns on cartoons anymore, when they do these like redesigns or these rehashes,
Yeah.
so fucking lazy on the artwork on this stuff. Have you
Yep.
seen like they did Ninja Turtles? It looks awful.
Mm-hmm.
The new artwork, and then they brought back DuckTales, which was another show I watched after school when I got home.
Oh my God, yes.
And holy shit, does that look lazily? And it's a Disney cartoon, and it looks like it's a lazy put together. Looks like it's drawn like by some kid in 6th grade.
It's not. It's all done on a computer now. The
It's
ones we watched,
horrible.
those were. That's the difference. Is that you got the computer animators doing it now, and there's. I mean, I'm not knocking against computer animators because I've seen some good shit done, but when it comes to cartoons, you can't beat the hand drawn shit because that was an actual art form. I mean, that's what we grew up with. Like the real Ghostbusters and He-Man and all that shit, that was all hand drawn shit. That wasn't computer
Like,
nothing.
I get like, I get like the, I don't mean to be doing like okay boomer shit or anything, but like, I get like when like you go back in my day, they had these great shows like Gunsmoke and, Bonanza and, where it's in black and white. I'm not talking about that. If you compare an episode of the 80s DuckTales, the way it looked, aesthetically, I'm not talking about story or anything. You look at it aesthetically compared to the new DuckTales, there's no way you would prefer that new looking DuckTales over the old one. There's no way. You look at that and you go, God, that is lazily drawn. Any kid with a pair of eyes could have to look at that and go, and I guess you can get the old ones on Disney Plus. I don't know. I don't have it, but
my sister does. I have it here too. So I was like, yeah, it's got all that stuff. So
I think
that's really cool.
They canceled the new DuckTales? Wow, it didn't last long.
No, I mean that's why most of these remakes and rehashes don't, is because they're trying to capture the same spark that the original had, which would work, but they won't put any effort into it. They just want a quick money grab, and it doesn't work that way. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I always, and the one thing that I noticed too nowadays, man,
It's concluding this year.
is it?
Yeah, it says the series premiere on August 12th, 2017, with a 44-minute pilot episode on Disney XD. I take it that's a channel.
Yeah.
The reboot has generated positive reviews from critics and audiences, as well as comic book. On December 2nd, 2020, it was announced that the 3rd season would be the last of the series, with the show concluding in 2021. So nobody's watching it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. If we're getting great
nobody's
reviews
watching it
and
as
people are
well.
watching it.
Because what cartoon goes 3 seasons? Like the original DuckTales, I think went 4 or 5 seasons, and they had episodes on every day. We're talking like,
yep,
probably like 40 or 50 episode runs. I'm gonna verify that. I don't want to talk out my ass there.
I think it went longer. Well, no,
because they had them every day. Like when you came home, like every day it was a new episode. So the original DuckTales had, just to compare here, I'm picking on DuckTales because that one
was a great show.
Well, that one seems to be like the easiest one to pick on here. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out how many seasons this one had real quick. 4 seasons. So it went 4 seasons, but look, season 1 had 65 episodes. between the year of 1987 and 1988.
1987, 1988. How many episodes?
65.
That sounds about right for a cartoon, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the original.
So
wow.
So whatever syndication networks aired this, they must have like ordered like a huge amount.
Yeah.
65. That's a huge amount to order for a network. That's fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, and I don't know.
I knew it was a lot because that every day you come home and there'd be a new, like, you know, I couldn't even I couldn't even record them on a VCR because there was so many, like, every day you'd had to make sure you didn't miss one, you know. But
oh yeah, I mean, the one thing I think I miss that the cartoons don't do anymore that they did back in the 80s and early 90s was they had a moral at the end. That always killed
like
me.
G.I. Joe
yeah, G.I. Joe would do it, He-Man, Thundercats, they all pretty much would do it. I mean, it was like some sort of rule that Congress came up with, like, you know, if you're gonna do a cartoon, it needs to have a moral, you know, because the parents don't want to think the kids are rotting their brain or some stupid
but they were all
thing like
stupid
that.
though. It was all like, don't leave the stove on. Like, why is a kid using a stove anyway?
Well, I mean, but it did teach. Yeah, I mean, you learn a few things from it. I mean, that's fine. You know, I mean, it kind of sums up the story that you just saw for the most part. Sometimes the moral had nothing to do with the story you just saw, but for the majority of them, it did. So, I mean, that was kind of cool. It kind of puts it into a perspective of real life. That's kind of neat.
Let me not to cut you off. I'm gonna catch up the chat here real quick.
Sure.
UNC Phil, there's also an 80s page on Facebook that airs cartoons with old commercials on Saturdays.
Oh, nice.
Link me that page, please.
Same here.
I hate having to watch it on Facebook, but it is what it is.
Still, but that's really cool. I mean, there's just something to be said that, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, the kids today, I know it sounds like, you know, I'm being that, you know, okay, boomer kind of guy, but it is true. They're not going to know the thrill of a Saturday morning cartoon run, you know, that we got to see.
But you know what, dude? It's not, you know, it's sad, a generational thing, because I'm sure when we were growing up, you know, and you got that whole line, well, I used to walk a mile to school in my bare feet and
uphill both ways. Yeah,
you know, they were proud of those eras, just like we're proud of ours. So it's just a generational thing, and it's gonna happen in every generation. It's just the way it is. The kids that grow up now are seeing things a certain way, and they're just gonna go, well, this is the norm. This is the best.
Yeah,
it's generational. I mean, no matter how we can sit and praise, but I'm just saying, if you compare DuckTales to the old DuckTales, there's no fucking way you're gonna tell me that newer cartoon looks better.
No,
it's no way. It's not. Or Ninja Turtles or whatever.
It's very rare you're going to find a cartoon remake that's going to be as good as the original. I mean, are the possibilities there that it could happen? Sure, but will it? Not unless they're willing to put some money and effort into it.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a quick grab on just the name.
Yep.
You know, they want to put a little effort into it. It'll work, but right now, no. I mean, they just think, well, just put this name. The parents will be like, "Oh, son, your daughter, you got to watch this. These were a thing when I was a kid, you know." And then the kids are like, "Oh, this is great," but then the parents are going, "What the hell is this shit?" You know, like, this isn't what I remember. Because I mean, if you're going to be garnering it towards the past, you know, the kids of the '80s, and then their kids now, or '90s and their kids now, for example, you know, the best thing to do would be, if you're going to do a remake, definitely make it more modern for the younger kids, but have some throwback shit for the people, for the parents.
I need a beer. I'll be right back.
If not, yeah. If not, the parents aren't going to be interested, and they're just going to think it's stupid. You know, I mean, and that's sad, as far as I can tell. I've got Yorkshire Gaming in mind goes, yeah. The PSAs at the end, yeah, don't play with matches, don't stick your fork in an outlet. Yeah, oh yeah. Those were all the big, you know, no-nos, and, you know, I mean, sure, you guys probably all remember that, you know, in today's story, you know, so-and-so didn't clean his room, and, you know, when your parents tell you to clean your room, you need to do that and stuff. I remember all those. Those were great.
Scale says the worst cartoon I ever saw was Uncle Grandpa. I've never even heard of that.
No. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is.
Shell101 says they screwed up several series that way. I was a fan of Teen Titans, but they made it like that horrible cartoon crap like DuckTales.
Yeah.
You know what I think that crap, that stupid style came from was like that stupid Powerpuff Girl show. You know, that style,
Yes.
lazy drawing style came from that, it seems.
Yeah.
That's the first show I remember ever, like, I never watched it, but I remember like seeing them drawn. I'm like, God, this is awful.
Well, if you think about it, Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead were kind of the same way. But I mean, not as bad, but they were definitely, you could see a transition happening from trying to look like a realistic cartoon to just being out there. You know, I mean, you saw like the one where I noticed that it was just looking really stupid was Doug, when you saw that. Or Rugrats.
I watched.
Those were.
I remember watching Doug when I was a kid, and I didn't like that show because I just wanted to punch that kid. Like, he just annoyed everything. Every time that Skeeter dude, whatever his name was, like, I don't know what that bully guy was, but every time he like was trying to give him a hard time, I'm like, will you please just punch him in the face? Like,
yeah.
Ren and Stimpy, I used to watch the fuck out of.
Oh yeah, so did I. I admit that.
My parents banned me from watching that show at one point because I watched an episode so many times that I memorized it, and it was about two cowboys like talking about hanging people. But they were idiots, and then they end up hanging each other at the end. And the one guy, like, the whole time, just like he's droopy eyed, and he just starts farting, and I'm like, this is the greatest shit I've ever watched. And
my favorite thing for the Ren and Stimpy shows were always
was terrible, dude.
It was the commercials that they did though, like don't whiz on the electric fence.
Oh yeah.
The toy from Blammo, the log.
So
I mean, I still remember those themes. They were so freaking funny.
So I actually have them. I have the complete series, and I put it on, like, I don't know, it was a year ago, and was watching it, and I'm like, the jokes that they threw in the Ren and Stimpy show that you never caught as a kid, but like you catch it now as an adult, you're like, I can't believe they got away with this. And
it's
like,
the same thing
nobody fucking said a word about this.
It's the same thing if you watch like Animaniacs. I mean, they found a way to make the more adult jokes so subtle that the kids wouldn't notice it, but the adults would be like, "Oh, okay, that's funny." You know, I mean, just oh god, I mean, and then and now it's just all kind of dumbed down. It's kind of sad.
I think then I watched Rocco after that. Rocco was kind of. It was borderline Ren and Stimpy, like, bad. Like, it had the, you know, the jokes that would go over the kids' heads.
If you're young, it would go over their head. Yeah.
Yeah, but man, I remember that. Oh yeah, the log song. I remember that. That was like the first episode, I think.
Yeah. Rolls downstairs, falls over in Paris.
There, Shell just posted the whole thing. There it is.
What's good for a snack? What fits on your back? It's log. It's log. It's big. It's heavy. It's wood. It's log. It's better than bad. It's good. I mean, it's just, they were so stupid and pointless, but so freaking funny. I mean, it was so good. I mean, they literally, at our school now, remember in high school, you'd have, like, I think for us anyway, second period was homeroom. So that's when they would like do like the announcements of the day and shit like that. I don't know if they did that in your schools, but here they do. Like at second period, that's your homeroom. They'll run through like the news of the day for the school. And they decided one day to have everyone turn on the TVs in the classroom, and they played Ren and Stimpy's Happy Happy Joy Joy. That was
huge back
then. It was an instant
that was huge.
hit. Everybody for like the next couple of months was freaking singing that shit.
Yeah, that was a huge thing back then.
So funny. Oh God. So good.
Yeah, but I quoted the whole show, and my mom heard me quote it. And there's like, again, she's probably getting all these adult references that are just over my head as a kid.
Right.
You know, and so she's like, yeah, you're not gonna watch that show for a while. And she's like, you're just getting a little too into it. And I'm like, I cannot live without Ren and Stimpy on it used to air on Saturday nights. It was in that Snick thing. You remember Snick?
Oh yeah, Snick. Yeah.
It was in that Snick thing. And then I would turn it off whenever that stupid All That would come on. I'm like, this show blows. Yes. I turn it off. I'm like, you know.
Yeah, no, I remember Nick. That was bad. Yeah, that was, man. There was so many good Nick shows, man. Though, but yeah,
I didn't get I didn't get the humor in that Good Burger garbage. Like any of that, I did not.
Yeah,
I did not get the. Is it karaoke night on State of the Stream? Oh, good old DM came in late. He tuned in right during your log presentation.
Oh, no, I was singing the log song from Ren and Stimpy.
I'm gonna get your log, good old DM. We can't play the song because we'll get a violation.
Don't whiz on the electric fence.
No.
I mean, it was just so good. I mean, I don't know. I see, that's the thing is like your mom got mad at you for watching Ren and Stimpy, but then if you would look back at what they watched when they were kids, like Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner and shit, that was some violent shit. Funny as hell.
But violent shit. See, I hate that when people say that, and I hear that like HBO Max or a couple services have like tried to censor some of these old shows, like most of the Looney Tunes ones. No, most of the Looney Tunes ones, and it's like, okay, I always watched Yosemite Sam run around with that gun and fire it at different people. You know, and I knew as a kid, don't fire a gun at somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that. But, like, it's like you cannot call that a violent, offensive show.
No.
Or Elmer Fudd walks around with a fucking shotgun. You know, it's like,
yeah,
you can't, come on. We really lost our damn minds.
No, you just got over. Look, I mean, no offense to any parents listening, but some are just way overprotective, and unfortunately, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
I think I turned out all right. Like I don't, you know, I think you turned out all right, and we watched the same shit. We watched Ren and Stimpy, and
like for example, they would say, you know, like
Beavis and Butthead. I grew up on. I never lit a building on fire.
No, but like for example, like Speedy Gonzales, for example, they wanted to get rid of that because they say it puts Mexicans into a bad light. I'm like, no kid is thinking that. No kid
I never
loved it because he would always outsmart the cat. I always loved that.
I always related him to Tom and Jerry because Jerry would always get away, and that's how Speedy Gonzales would do it.
Hell yeah. I mean, and when you, even for adults, those cartoons are still freaking hilarious. If you watch an old Bugs, like a Roadrunner and Coyote, watch an old one, you'll laugh your ass off. Watch a Tom and Jerry, you'll freaking die. It was all fun violence because everyone knew it was a cartoon. And the thing is that the difference is that our parents told us, you know, this is make-believe, don't do it, it isn't real. But, you know, it's like, we kind of knew that already. You know, I don't know when all of a sudden kids are stupid. When did that happen? You know, I just think, you know, cutting your history out, you know, you're just robbing them of anything.
Shout us out some more shows. I think we hit a bunch of them here, but the name of the bully in Doug was Roger Klotz. That's right.
Oh, okay.
So who was Scooter or Skeeter or whatever the fuck that dude's name was?
Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm not sure. Was that maybe Rugrats? I don't know.
I didn't get into Rugrats. Was a little bit.
Yeah. Only reason I got into Rugrats.
My sister watched that show when we were younger, but like I didn't like. I looked at it. I'm like, this is a little too. You know.
Yeah. No, exactly. I don't know. I find that a lot of the cartoons today just don't have, as far as I can tell, just don't have the humor that the other ones did. It just seems like it's really dumbed down to like the simplest denominator.
Here's the thing too, like, and I could tell you this because my nieces and nephews do this. My nephews watch more YouTube.
Yeah.
And Amazon Prime than they do any cartoons on cable or like any like they don't watch Cartoon Network, they don't watch Nickelodeon, they don't watch Nicktoons. My niece watches some person on it. She's a YouTuber that made like a ton of money. I don't remember her name, but she wears like all these dresses, and she does like a kids YouTube show. And she's a YouTuber. That's what my nieces watch. Can't remember the. I wish my brother was tuned in because I would ask him. But my nephews will sit there and watch gameplays of old Mario games on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
that's what they watch. That's stuff they're watching. They're not watching cartoons really. Now they watch some Disney stuff. They'll see some movies like whatever's new out on Disney Plus. My sister will put it on for them and they'll watch it. Captain Underpants or whatever. Like they'll watch all that shit. But
I have to admit, Captain Underpants is fucking hilarious. that show's funny. That movie was funny. But like, think about when we were growing up. There was one that was done by Jim Henson. We used the Muppets, but it was called The Dark Crystal. It was meant for kids, but man,
I remember hearing about it. I never watched it though.
It was not a funny movie. It was a dark, dramatic movie, and it was damn good. If you were a kid, you found yourself liking it. I mean, you knew just from the start that okay, this is not going to be a good one. Or you had movies like Neverending Story and stuff like that were not funny. But
let's not do movies. That's a whole other topic.
Well, you brought up the movie thing. That's what kind of threw me into it.
Let's not do movies.
But no. But like like I said, like old school TV shows like Woody Woodpecker and stuff like that. And Popeye, and stuff like that. He'd eat spinach and beat up Bluto. I mean, nowadays you just couldn't do that because parents would be all up in arms, and I just don't understand why. I mean.
You said Popeye. That reminded me something. Doug Walker, who is the nostalgia critic on YouTube.
Yeah,
he reviews dark cartoons. These are the cartoons that are like put out in like the 30s and 40s from like Disney. One is like a Popeye one, and they're not like the ones that like have like racial overtones stuff like that, but the ones that like dabble in like holy shit that just happened type of stuff. Like there's a Popeye episode where they have like this little kid or something and he's annoying Popeye, and in the end they take him out back and shoot him, and that's the end of the cartoon. And he's like, and he's like, well, I didn't see that coming. So it's like, that's how the cartoon ends. They shoot him. So
I mean that.
Can you imagine if they pulled that these days and some kid would be like, oh my god.
I mean, think of like the theme songs that a lot of like Popeye and like Woody Woodpecker had. They were actually pretty violent songs. I mean, compared to what you have today. I mean, Woody Woodpecker's talking about pecking holes in people's heads. You got Popeye who's talking about biffing and bopping them and always outfoxing them. So it's like literally he's like telling kids but he's like if anyone dares to risks me fisks, as he says. It's biffing you blam, understand, and then it would like get moral. So keep your good behavior. You said
that far too well. By the way,
I loved Popeye when I was a kid. My great grandfather got me into that. Watching Popeye, and I just love the fact that he'd eat the spinach and just go to town. It was awesome. Good times. So yeah, the older cartoons I would almost consider them more violent than the ones we grew up with.
All right, let's go back here. Let's keep going here because I don't want to.
Yeah, what do we got?
Lia Jax drops a log after a big meal. Okay. Well, yeah. A funny show is Keenan and Kel. That's the one that was airing on All That. Didn't that have a spin-off show? Was Keenan and Kel?
Keenan,
or was that Good Burger?
Good Burger ended up spinning. I think it was Good Burger spun off into Keenan and Kel.
Yeah, I can't.
I think, or it could be the other way around. But I want to say it was the first way. I think one of them ended up going to Saturday Night Live, and that dude's funny. That's Keenan.
Keenan, right?
Keenan.
Yeah. Yep. That dude's
the
funny.
bigger guy.
He's been on there for years too.
Oh yeah.
But he's funny. Kill the Wabbit. Kill the Wabbit. They started.
Oh, you know what? Sorry. Yorkshire brought up a good point. If Popeye were drawn today, he would look definitely different. His pipe would not be there. It would be completely removed. There would be no pipe.
That's true.
That's a good point.
That's true.
That is a very good point.
That's probably why you don't see much Popeye, because that's how he inhaled the spinach, is usually through the pipe.
Yeah.
He would squeeze the can, it would go up and then down through the pipe, and he would inhale it. I think a couple times he opened his mouth, but
Well, yeah, he did. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, no kid in their right mind is going, "Oh, Popeye's got a pipe. I want one too." No kid is thinking that.
Who
No
knows?
kid. That
Who
no,
knows?
please. Oh my God. If you tell a kid, you put a bunch of kids today in front of a couple Popeye cartoons, then ask them a question of, what's the biggest characteristic of Popeye that you remember? I guarantee you none of them are going to say a pipe. They're going to say his probably more or less like the bulgy forearms or the anchor tattoo. That's what I'm going to think that they would say, or his like big chin. They're not going to say none of them are going to say pipe.
Phil says it
You
wasn't
know?
spinach, it was weed. Good God.
Oh, come on, Phil.
Good God.
That was back when they started doing that. What was that? That one's Reefer Madness, where apparently if you did weed, it made you like you were on cocaine. You know that stuff. So, I guess maybe it was weed, and they made Popeye really hyper, and he beat the shit out of Bluto and shot kids in the backyard.
Shale 101 says today cartoons are used as babysitters. When we were growing up, parents paid attention to what we watched.
Yeah.
Because my mom screened my shows quite often.
Oh yeah, so did my parents. Oh yeah.
They had a big deal about Thundercats back in the day.
Really? Why?
Because of the imagery, I guess. Like I didn't think anything of it, but like my parents were all flipped out over like.
Was it with the sword getting bigger?
No,
thing?
it was the Mumra had the staff that had a goat's head on it.
It was the staff of Ra.
Yeah, but that's like a straight up satanic image. Like
no kid is going to understand that.
Yeah,
though. I see what your parents.
Like I said, I didn't get it. Like I'm like, oh, it's just a goat on a staff.
That's any kid would be like, oh,
But-
that's just where he gets his power,
Yeah, I'm
something
like,
that.
I don't, and plus he morphed into like a mummy at some, Mumra morphed into a mummy at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and then plus if they had any cartoons where they're half dressed, half naked or whatever, then I'd get that.
Oh, well, then
too.
I guess you can't watch any Disney because they're all naked from the waist down pretty much anyway. So
Nowadays,
I guess you were screwed. They've always were. Donald Duck never had pants. I mean, come on. I mean, seriously, he
the
never
lack
had
of
pants. He
I
just
like
had a
the
shirt.
cheetah girl, the lack of clothing. Yeah, I got yelled at about Chitara a lot. I love that show.
That was
back
only
in
the
day.
first. That was only the first episode where they were naked.
Man, I love that show back in the day, and I haven't watched it since. I had the toys, I had everything.
Oh yeah,
Like,
so did
was
I.
Huge on. I remember when the movie aired. It was like on
Oh,
a Friday
yeah.
night. Like I had like that's again that's generational thing, but like when that movie aired, you had to know the date and time
Yes, you did.
and
TV
channel.
Guide, baby.
You had to no. I got that from watching the show because the
yeah.
the channel would be like it was channel like 19 I think back in the day. They'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
you need to check out the Thundercats movie. It's Friday at 7:00. I'm like, gotta write that down. So I put on a calendar somewhere. And somehow, as a kid, knew it was on, and I watched it.
Yeah. We did that. We did the same thing because, like, me and my brother, well, me more, but my brother too, we were both into He-Man big time. And when Filmation decided, you know what, we got to appeal to the girl demographic, we're going to introduce
She-Ra.
We're going to bring in She-Ra. So they actually did they did an actual made-for-TV movie called Secret of the Sword, and I remember watching that. I mean, that was awesome to see like it even gave you some backstory, which was kind of cool. And for example, Yorkshire also brings up, look at Skeletor's staff. It has a ram's head for a ram's head skull. It did. I mean, it's just.
Oh yeah, I wasn't allowed to have Skeletor as a kid. My parents would not buy it because of that. The toy came with it. Like straight up, you would have it. They wouldn't let me have that, but I did get the castle. Skeletor's I forgot what it was called. It was Skeletor's castle, but it had
that's Snake Mountain.
Snake Mountain, and it had a little microphone on it, and you would talk into it, and it would echo it out.
Yes,
So
I remember that.
So I take my Thundercats toys and like play with. I didn't have any He-Man toys. I just had Snake Mountain, and that was it. That's all from He-Man I ever had was that.
No, my parents were a little bit more liberal in that fact. I mean, my parents were letting me watch like R-rated movies when I was 7.
Yeah,
I mean, they would be in the room. They
I
would
didn't
be in
get
the
any of
room.
that.
I mean, it wasn't like, I think the worst movie I ever saw that was R-rated when I was young was like Jaws 3. I mean, that was about it. I mean, I think I do remember watching when I was probably 5 Cujo with my dad.
Oh,
Uh,
jeez.
yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean. But I was with my dad. I mean, I was not allowed to watch those by myself. But you know, if they were in the room, you know, and you know they were there, and if I had any questions, I could ask them. You know, shit like that. My parents were pretty cool in
If
that
I had
aspect.
any questions, I could ask. Why does the dog do? Why did the dog maul everybody?
Well, that's what I found out about
Why did
rabies.
the
I asked
dog
him like,
eat
well,
people?
why is the dog? Yeah, I asked him like, why is the dog mad? He's like, well, he's got rabies. And then I asked, well, what's that? And he explained to me what it was, and I'm like, oh man, that's sad. You know, like, oh, you know. But I mean, at least it grounded me and didn't make me think, you know, that every dog was going to kill me. You know, I mean, so
We got
I think Shell's right. A lot of it's about being, you know, the TV is now a babysitter, and their parents, you know, because the parents nowadays are so damn busy they can't keep an eye on their kids 24/7 like our parents kind of could back then, ish.
we got more shows
You know.
coming in here. You ready for this
Oh,
one?
what do we got?
So,
Yeah,
by the way, Skeeter was the blue guy who wore a lightning bolt on his shirt. That's Skeeter,
that's it. Yes,
not Scooter.
Okay, okay.
All right, he's the blue dude. Okay.
Yeah, I remember now. Okay, got it.
UNC Phil wrote Mask. Are you talking about?
Oh yeah, Mask. Yeah, that cartoon.
I
Yeah,
don't remember that one.
it didn't
was
have
that
a
Saturday
long
morning
run.
one, or was that an after school one?
No, it was a Saturday morning. They did a Saturday morning one. I
Um,
never got into it, but I do remember seeing it. Yeah.
Shale 101. What about Camp Anawana? You're talking about Salute Your Shorts,
Salute your shorts.
and I have all seasons of that at my house. I love that show. I love that show.
And every time I see you, it makes me want to fart. It's I hope we never part or say that right or pay the price.
The sad thing about that show is it was only like 3 seasons, and I think there was only like 15 episodes a season. It was a very, like, if you watch it on Nickelodeon, you would see repeats all the time, and that's
Oh yeah.
that's how it was when I was a kid. Hey Dude, I thought that show was dumb, but the girls on the show were hot. The one is married to Ben Stiller now.
Which one?
Shit, hang on. Girl from Hey Dude. That's literally what I'm not gonna Google. Christine Taylor is her name. The blonde chick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She was in a lot of stuff. She's mostly with stuff with Ben Stiller in it. She was in Dodgeball. She was like a lesbian in Dodgeball.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I liked, and I mean maybe this is guilty pleasure, but I was just around the age when I was starting to realize girls, man. It was fucking Clarissa Explains It All, man.
Oh.
Melissa Joan Hart, she was hot as hell. At least I thought she was. I remember watching that show just to look at her. I was such a perv. But I mean, hey, you know.
I don't know how I know this, but I know this. And I think because WWE exploits it, but she's like a huge wrestling fan. I don't know if you knew
Who?
that. Melissa Joan
Oh,
Hart.
Melissa Joan Hart?
Like a
Is she
massive
really?
wrestling fan. She watches it with her kids. I think because
that's awesome.
WWE kept retweeting her like constantly on Twitter, and I'm like, so one day I was like, I clicked her thing just to read what she was talking about, and she's like carrying on conversations with wrestling fans about like stuff me and you would talk about, like
That's
calling
awesome.
someone a jobber, you know, like I'm like, wow, she's pretty well versed.
That's cool though. I mean, that's great.
TP Poker says, of course, he'd pork her.
Oh God, yeah. She was hot as hell, man. Yeah, I admit that. I mean, you know that was just, you know, I was about 13 at the time when that show came out. So I mean, obviously, you know, I was like, hey, I was flipping through the channels, all of a sudden saw this young teen girl in a high skirt. Stop the channel. Let's look at this. What's this? You know, I mean, you know, it was definitely, I mean, not really geared for people like me, but it was worth watching. For a 13-year-old boy, fuck yeah, it was worth watching.
Good old DM says,
if you're an adult now and watching that show, you got problems. But, you know, 13-year-old boy,
just a bit.
No harm.
Yeah. Good old DM says, Mask was awesome. I had 6 of the... Go ahead, I'll keep reading the chat here.
Yeah, thanks.
Good old DM says, Mask was awesome. I had like 6 of the cars. UNC Phil. I had a ton of the toys, gave them to my nephew years ago, and he threw them away. No. That sucks. I'm trying to remember what toys that I had. I had the like I said, I had the Snake Mountain toy from He-Man. I had Lion-O from Thundercats. I had Mumra. I think that was all of the Thunder, and then I had all 4 of the Ninja Turtle figures because I think I moved on to Turtles after that. Shortly after that, and I don't think I had many other toys. I didn't get into Transformers, GI Joes. I had a friend who was into GI Joes quite a bit, but I never got into them. I think Nintendo came out after that, so I was pretty much moved on to that in the late '80s when this was all going on. Let's talk about the most controversial cartoon of our childhood, The Simpsons. Bart and his Eat My Shorts. I remember when The Simpsons aired before they had a show. They aired, I don't know why or how I know this, but like as a kid, I think I caught that episode or a couple episodes of, what was that show that they were on? Armac, what was that show that The Simpsons and Tracy Ullman?
Yeah, Tracy Ullman was the one that introduced The Simpsons.
I watched The Simpsons on the Tracy Ullman show, and I'm like, I didn't care for it. So when I knew they were getting a show, I didn't really care to watch. But then they blew up. And then eventually I started watching it. But it was much late into the... Like, I missed that whole time when I was growing up to get into them.
Yeah, do you remember the big... Oh, my God. I mean, I look at, like, the shirts the kids wear nowadays. Excuse me for the wheezing, but that advert is just not working.
Have you checked your chat recently? Has anybody else said anything in yours?
No, not right now. No, the last one was just the Skeletor staff one. The shirts that these kids wear nowadays. Do you remember? This was back when The Simpsons were really popular. So you're looking like probably mid to late '80s, where there was a shirt they had to change the shirt because it said "I'm Bart Simpson.
Who the hell are you?"
And parents had a shit fit about it. Remember that? So then they had to change it to "Who the heck are you?"
Well, I know a bunch of kids who had that shirt, so
I did too.
I didn't even know
I
didn't even know they changed it.
Yep, the parents' outrage forced the company to change it to "Who the heck are you?" So it was, and I mean, it was just like that was, I think, around the time when everything was starting to, people were getting a little too oversensitive, and it's just like, look, it's a cartoon. Okay, kids aren't, kids are going to say, if you think kids that get The Simpsons, like actually understand it, they're already out there with their friends swearing. All right, as long as the parents aren't around, we all did it. To think that your kid is not going to be doing that, man, you got some damn illusions that I don't know about.
Illusions?
Because illusions. Basically thinking that your kid is just
I get it.
a saint and not... Yeah, every kid does. I don't care who you are. I mean, I'm sure even your parents, when they were teens, because they wanted to feel more adult, they would swear just like an adult would just to be cool. Now, granted, you get older and realize, okay, that was kind of dumb, but still, because half the time when you'd swear it wouldn't be right anyway, but still, you did it. I mean, every kid does that. So that's why I didn't understand, like hell. I'm like, all I could think of, because at the time I was like 9 or 10, all I could think of is, why are they getting upset at the word hell? I've heard so much worse. On TV, I've heard worse. It's like, no, I don't get it, but
a couple more chats on this, and then we're gonna move on to clips.
Sure.
So good old DM says the Flintstones used to be in commercials for cigarettes. That's true.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, nothing tastes good like a Winston should. Oh yeah, it literally said at the beginning. Now, the Flintstones, brought to you by Winston. It was just like, wow, really? Holy crap. Oh, man.
Phil says Pee-wee's Playhouse was classic.
Mm-hmm. That it was.
I watched it. Really good show. I watched that as a kid. Like, I thought it was so weird. Like, I'm like...
It was weird.
The vibes I got, the only thing comparable, and I say this by a long shot, was like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Because Mr. Rogers lived, he did the show from his house. He'd come in, take his shoes off, and then he'd walk around and he'd fuck with the train and all this other stuff. But
trolley, man.
Yeah, the trolley, sorry. But then, like, Pee-wee's Playhouse was kind of like that, but turned up like 150. Like, he would talk in the chair, he'd have the guy in the window. Trying to remember all the people there.
You had Cherry. You had,
who was the guy in the window?
That was actually the cowboy guy.
Wasn't he the guy from The Matrix?
That was Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne. There was a bunch of characters in Pee-wee's Playhouse, but man, sometimes that, and you had the whole secret word thing. Don't say the secret word, but the secret word is but. And then when you say the word, everybody go nuts.
Oh yeah. Oh, the word of the day.
Yeah, the secret word.
Yeah. And then he had his big foil ball. You had the genie. Was it Manji or the hell? I'm gonna grab
another beer. You go ahead and take this one.
Okay, I'm trying to think. What the hell was his name? It was it Manji? I'm trying to see in the chat. Anybody remember? I can't see Al's chat, but I do have the text to speech on in mind. Does anybody remember the name of the genie that he had that would do that Mecha Lecca Hi, Mecha Heiny Ho, that whole thing? I cannot think of that dude's name for the life of me.
I don't remember any of those names from Pee-wee's Playhouse. I remember the chair, and that was it.
I remember Cherry because that's the only one I remember. I also have here Shell's going, Harmac, you should bring up the dark side of the child icon Jim Henson and his Wilkins coffee commercials. Oh my God, yeah, those were horrible. I watched a couple of those. Man, were they violent. It was unbelievably violent. Then I got Yorkshire going, the ones he remembers are the raccoons, Inspector Gadget, Brave Star, Super Ted, Denver, The Last Dinosaur, Visionaries, Gargoyles, Centuries, Mighty Mouse, and Danger Mouse. Those were the good old days of television. I do remember Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget, I really loved Inspector Gadget. That was a fun show.
That wasn't, I used to watch it after school. That was like on after Heathcliff and Dennis the Menace and all those.
Yeah. No,
Jambi was the genie, Harmac, by the way.
Jambi, yes. Oh my God, thank you. That was gonna bother the hell out of me. Jambi, yes. Mecha Lecca Hi, Mecha Heiny Ho. I remember that. But yeah, I mean, that was another Saturday morning one. There was just, you look at the shows they have today, I just don't think they have the same spark that the older ones did. Because I think it's just they're more simple. They're not as deep, I guess. Would that be the right way to
I know, but
that?
I don't know of many, like the only ones I know that kids, and I could be way out of this. Again, it's a generational thing. I'm just speaking.
It could be, yeah.
I'm speaking for what I know about my nephews. The only ones I know that are watched is that that toy or what is that it got recently banned for a few months because of the whole police thing, but Paw Patrol. Like Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol's a big thing in the the younger kids. I don't know what like the preteen kids are watching. I don't think they're watching anything. I just think they're watching probably YouTube or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think they're watching cartoons.
No. I mean, I have to admit, now, like I grew up watching Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers and stuff. When I watched that Tom Hanks one, I actually found myself in a lot of parts of it getting kind of choked up. Just like, wow, man. Like, just like how things have really changed and shit like that. I mean, it was pretty neat. I mean, so I look at it.
You're talking about the Mr. Rogers movie, like Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Yeah, that was a great movie. It was done very well. I mean,
I still have not watched it. I need to watch it.
Oh, you definitely do. Oh my God, yeah. I mean, they actually. The cool thing is because at the time, now unfortunately his wife just passed away, but at the time she was alive, all the puppets that he used, she donated to the movie so they could use them.
Oh, nice. I did not know that.
Yeah, and they actually went as far as to get all the set pieces and the original cameras, which were old tube cameras, which there aren't many around. They had to literally go to Europe to find some that were like in a warehouse just decaying away, to use that just so you could get, so the people that had never seen it get a view of what it looked like through those type of cameras instead of like the HD cameras we have now. I thought that was really cool. I mean, they really wanted to capture the essence of it, and I think they did. I really liked the movie. I mean,
I was gonna watch that with my wife, because normally any big movies she'll save, like, you know, for us to watch.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, okay,
Yeah.
well, I got the movie. I think I'll just watch it with her. One day she walks up, she's like, "Oh yeah, watch that Mr. Rogers movie. It's really good." I'm like, "Okay, well, I was gonna watch it with you, so I guess I'll watch it some other time." And I haven't done that yet. So now she's very careful. Like, we watched that. Hate to bring this up again. We watched that Fat Man movie last week, which was hilarious. But
yeah, no, you should watch it. It's pretty good. But like
yeah,
I
I'll have
said,
to give it a shot.
I think the one thing I liked about, especially Mr. Rogers and some of the cartoons that we watched when we were kids, they didn't treat you like a kid. You know, they treated you as a normal person that could actually comprehend and stuff like that. So you kind of didn't feel like you're being talked down to, or you didn't feel like, you know, you were just, you know, sitting there just to watch something. You felt like you were a part of it. So you kind of, I think that's why if you ask a lot of people in our generation, you know, what kid shows do you remember? A lot of them will say like Sesame Street or Mr. Rogers if they watched it, just because they would talk about sometimes some deep shit that they won't talk about today. Oh, no way. You know, I mean, so I think, you know, granted, these kids easily find it out on their own. You got YouTube. You know, I mean, trust me, you don't want them to see shit. Trust me, they're going to see it anyway. You know, I mean, but I can honestly say, I think just the times have changed to the fact that I think parents are a little overprotective. I think they've bought into the whole aspect that their kids just don't understand. No, they do. I think it's just you forgot. I think a lot of them forgot what it was like when they were kids. I think they did, you know, and that's just me personally thinking that way. I could be wrong, but that's kind of the gist I get from it, you know, because we would watch these cartoons all the time, and sometimes you'd learn something from them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just pointless, either slapstick humor, which is fine. I'm all for it, but there's like no moral, you know. I mean, at all. I mean, you know, like Tom and Jerry. The moral of it was always Tom getting screwed over by Jerry, you know. And then I remember watching one episode where he did catch Jerry, and Jerry acted like Tom killed him, and then Tom started crying, you know. I mean, I remember that one, you know. So I mean, they took it beyond the bounds, but now you just have ones that are just straight up dumb. As far as I'm concerned, no, like you're right, it could be a generational thing. These kids may love it, and God love them if they do. Good. I just think, you know, to put some of the stuff out there that we watched when we were kids would just so be shunned today. I mean, and it's sad because I mean they taught us a lot of shit. They kind of kept us into the real world a bit, you know.
Well,
that's what I see.
We'll move on, but good conversation about cartoons that I'm not even really sure where that came from. So
I blame TP Poker.
I think it was another TP Poker question or something.
Yeah.
All right. So good conversation. We're gonna do the Ask LOV Eric segment. It'll be up near the end of things tonight. It'll give you guys enough to get your questions in, enough time to get your questions in, rather. We already had one that says Ask Eric what cartoons he watched, so that will be on the list. I'm adding that to there. So I know Poker's around here loitering somewhere. So I'm
watched
sure.
My Little Pony.
Oh, he does. You know what? We may have to do this now because he's
Care Bears stare. Oh shit.
All right, so let's do this now. Let's ask LOV Eric. If you have any other questions, get them in, because we're going to ask. This is a weekly thing that we do.
Yep.
Where we ask LOV Eric. He's a guy that hangs out on my stream, on Slash Streams, usually about once a week, usually on Thursdays. He was on last night, played a little bit of Halo. TP Poker even got a free question out of him last night.
I saw that. That was a great question.
So, so even when he's on and playing a game with me, you can still get some questions out of him. So we ask him questions each week. He's a very big league player. He's, we often ask what he's doing, what he's up to at the exact moment.
Yeah.
Usually we get the same answer. So if you're new to this, we do this every week, but let's give him a call and let's see what this man is doing. Ask LOV Eric.
That's right.
Usually he doesn't answer if he's in a league
Gaming.
game. Are we gonna go through this again? I feel like we go through this almost every week.
We do. We do. He might not be feeling answering the phone.
I told him before this thing started too. I was like, there's gonna be a question tonight, right? He's like, oh yeah. All right, one more time, and then we'll have to maybe call after clips.
Yeah. He's gonna pick up.
Do you know another person this disappointing in your life? I bet you don't.
Oh, that's a good question. Which toy that you wanted for Christmas? Which toy that you wanted for Christmas when you were a kid but never got until adulthood? That's a good question. I would have to say mine. Mine would have been probably. I wanted to get what the hell is that called? The toy, the one toy that I did want when I was a kid was an actual light bright. I really wanted one of those.
I had a light bright.
I never had one. A friend of mine did, and I played it at his house, but I never had one. And I did buy one when I got older. Now these kids are lucky. The light brights they make have LEDs, so they don't get hot as hell.
We will try it. We'll try him again in a few minutes. We're gonna hit some clips here real quick, because we actually have some clips this week of stuff that's gone on during the streams. So
yeah, people were clipping.
Bank those questions. Actually, I'm gonna have to copy these into a file because it's gonna be very hard to remember these questions, and they were good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So hang on. Let me grab this into a file here. All right. So we had asked Eric what cartoons he watched as a kid. We had TP Poker's question. Damn, that was a long one. Can you remember the ones you were asked, by the way?
I wasn't asked any. I was only asked.
Did you not read the one from a chat? You said somebody asked what favorite toy you had or something.
Yeah, no, that was from Yorkshire. I think that was just more directed to us. I think it was which toy is the one that you wanted for Christmas when you were a kid but never got until adulthood.
Ask LOV Eric which ass cheek weighs more on Nia Jax. Okay. Ask Eric if he's playing LOV with Ninja. All right, that's another one. And ask LOV Eric why he doesn't answer the phone the first time when you call. Okay. I heard he was watching some league tournament thing tonight. I don't know. There's like a league tournament on every other fucking week. So, all right, we'll get to some clips here, and then we'll give him another call, and hopefully he won't disappoint. Because he is the meaning of disappointment.
If not, just save those questions for next week.
Yep.
Oh, well, I won't be there next week, but the week after.
Oh, yeah, there won't be a State of the Streams next week. We'll probably have to do some sort of game. I was wanting to play that Destruction All-Stars or something. I remember stream that or stream the Rocket League event. One of those two. We'll see about that. All right, so what we'll do here is I'm going to hold these questions off. Let me bookmark this. There we go. And what we'll do is get the clips. Now, we had a lot of clips this week. What's up, Crazy Mango? Sorry, I meant to say hello to you, sir. I completely forgot.
Crazy Mango, what's up, buddy?
Crazy Mango, how you doing, man? That's he came in from Scales 175 stream. I've talked to him before. So we got plenty of clips here this week. We have actually, I think about 7 or so.
Oh, nice.
From the week. Most of them, I will say, most of them are from you. But
well, I'm not surprised.
Mostly Harmac stuff. So I'm gonna attempt this with this new layout here. So basically, we just, you guys take clips of our streams throughout the week, and we take those clips and we play them on the stream, so you can see either some interesting things that happened, or not most often cases, our greatest failures. So,
Yep, with me it'd be that.
all right. So let me transition to this here. Wait, that's not what I wanted.
Hi, we're bigger now.
Yeah, I don't know why that happened. There, did that pop up now? It did. So it's gonna be there. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's get this up, and
Just full screen that.
yeah, I could do that. Let's see here. There. Okay. So here's the first video here. This is, let's see, what am I picking? Oh, this is from Yorkshire Pudding. This one's called Bear Attack. I remember this happening. So there's always this story about the emo bear that Harmac kind of coined from his stream. Well, he made another appearance in mine. This is Bear Attack.
Oh, nice.
Is Ryuzo here? He sent me. I knew he wouldn't leave us.
Oh.
What?
Oh, shit. Let me
Turn
run that a
the
little bit.
volume up as high as it'll go, dude.
Yeah, hang on. Let me do that. Just 1 second here. I realized that was a problem when I minimized it. Come on. Windows 10 always, actually, that's as loud as it'll go.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. Let me check. Yeah, I don't know how loud this will be. We'll have to see.
Is Ryuzo here?
Go for it.
He sent me. I knew he wouldn't leave us.
So here I am opening up a gate to try to let people out. Oh shit. And there's a bear in there. It's a bear. It's an emo bear. Look, he just threw me right across the screen there. And killed me in one hit. So wow, he killed me. So Yorkshire Pudding decided to take that clip there. So thank you, Yorkshire Pudding.
And of course you in the video. Wow.
Well, he fucking threw me across the room. I was like, well, okay.
Now you know what it's like to fight an emo bear. They're bastards, man. I'm telling
Goddamn
you.
emo bears. All right, we'll go to the next one here. Let's pull this up. Making sure. All right. Okay, there we go. Let's go to the next one. The next one is Harmac's crowning achievement.
Oh God.
Community Showcase. Welcome to Harmac 1. It's saucy and al dente. LOL. If Sony isn't
Yeah,
gonna
see?
do it, I
Yeah,
guess they
work it,
will.
baby, huh? What mission? It does. It gave me a freaking. Did you guys see that? It gave me an achievement. Yeah,
Did
work
it
it,
go
baby.
off?
Yeah, it said, yeah, work it.
LOL.
So look at Harmac ogling over a character in her underwear right there.
It was literally an Easter egg that if you keep coming back and looking down there, she keeps doing different ones. And because we have it set up with RetroArch to it gives you trophies, I was wondering if it would give me a trophy for that, and it sure as hell did. It was yeah, that's right, work it, baby.
Dente.
Mission? What mission? I thought that was hilarious.
If
Yeah,
Sony
it's at the
isn't
top.
gonna do it, I
Yeah,
guess
work
they
it,
will.
baby. Look huh? up to the left. What mission? It does. It gave me a freaking. Did you guys see that? It gave me an achievement. Yeah,
Did
work
it
it,
go
baby. Yeah, it said, yeah, work it.
LOL.
There you go. There's Harmac's. That is Harmac's crowning achievement.
Looking at Meryl work out in her panties.
Yep. That was clipped by me at the request of Harmac. All right.
Yeah, I got it. Was because I thought that trophy, that title of the trophy was hilarious.
All right. You ready for the next one here? This one's called
Yeah.
Face Down, Ass Up.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure what that means, or do I?
This is the guy that eventually Meryl marries. Wait a minute.
It was an accident, I swear.
Oh, that's just.
So there's a dude who's censored out, obviously, but
That was hilarious.
his butthole's basically up in the air. This is PlayStation 1, mind you.
Yep. Dude. Oh my God, he took the Bitchard
I hope he's
position.
okay.
Somebody
I
asked,
don't
I
know.
hope he's
Face
okay.
down, ass up. That's the way we like to. Well, anyway.
So that was face down, ass up.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh my god, he took the picture.
I
I found it funny that in the game, he's literally laid down, his ass is up in the air, and then they have it blocked out in the game. I think that was hilarious. It's just so good. Poor Johnny. I swear to God. He's like a glutton for punishment.
All right, we got another one here. This one's called Harmax Upper Decker Chokeout.
Oh God.
You ready for this?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, this is Harmax choking somebody out by some toilets.
Please flush the toilet on the way out. That guy dropped a deuce and didn't do it.
In the urinal? He did an upper decker. Ew. Shit.
Shootout in the bathroom. I think it's right here when the guy gets up.
God, I suck at this game. I was busy worrying about upper deckers and totally forgot about the dude.
Why did that guy choke like this?
We were just talking about they were upper decking.
Yeah. So that was Harmax Upper Decker. All right, so we'll keep going along here. This one, okay, this one actually is from my stream last night. Somebody took, Del Griffith took this one. So there was a character who was, I don't know if he was seeing things or what he was doing, but he taunted me, and well, I kind of let him have it. So here we go. Here's the next one. This one's called Don't Shoot. I felt like we just went down this hole. Oh, never mind.
Hey, why are you shooting at me?
Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those.
You fucking idiot.
So this guy is like kept yelling to stay back, or he's gonna shoot. So as soon as he opened his mouth, I'm like, nope, fuck you.
Hey, why are you shooting at me?
Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those.
You fucking idiot. I'm shooting.
And LOV Eric apparently didn't care too much for that, because I don't know if he was some like useful player, but
Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those.
You fucking idiot.
so LOV Eric was not too thrilled with that, mind you.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, called me a fucking idiot. Yep. All right, so I told you we had a bunch of these here. So we had a dispute last night. Harmac made a false claim. That
Did
he was,
I?
yeah, Harmac said he was going to play until 1
I
a.m.
was so tired last night. Yep.
He lied, and so somebody took a clip as proof. And
Yeah.
Please go
I
until
know
1
I said it
a.m.
wrong,
Okay,
but in my
thanks.
mind, I'm
that's not gonna
thinking,
happen.
I'm thinking I played till
1
midnight
a.m.
for
your
some
time,
reason.
yeah.
oh, don't overtalk it, Harmac. You can't overtalk this.
a.m.
Soda can?
Please go until 1 a.m. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Well, 1 a.m. your time, yeah, I'll go till. That's fine.
Okay, you totally contradicted yourself there, by the way. I'm not going to play till 1 a.m., but I'll play till 1 a.m. your time.
Well, 1 a.m. your time, yeah, I'll go till.
Yeah,
That's-
because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I played till midnight.
My time,
And I'm
no.
like, no, I
Soda
played
can,
10 to midnight
not
your
shaking
time.
Yet, but if it
I
is
was totally
shaking,
screwed
be
up.
careful, it explodes.
Stupid math.
Oh, no response. All right, got
That's why I
nothing for
never
me,
was
all right?
really good at math at all.
Harmac, you owe me another 15
Simple
minutes.
subtraction, and I fail at it.
Anyway, that was Harmac lying, like usual.
I didn't lie. I was actually thinking I didn't lie. And to be perfectly honest, I played until 1 o'clock your time the night before.
All right, and we got one last clip here. This was Harmac's computer took a shit right in the middle of his stream last night.
I'm starting to think it was the emulator because you'll hear me talking while the thing is screwing up, and I sound fine. So it's not the computer wasn't struggling; it was the emulator that was.
Oh, here let's have a look. This is Harmac's
Oh
computer
yeah, this is hilarious.
having a total. Actually, there's two clips of this. There's two different views, I guess, or two different times that somebody took a clip while this was going on.
Yes.
Here we'll play the first one here. Let's see. Pull this
I
up.
think this is in the cell.
This is from Del Griffith. This is the first one.
This is so stupid.
Wow, look at that.
What
Yeah.
happened?
It was literally the emulator was having a heart attack. Because it wasn't my PC. Because
this
if you
the
look at
Soulja
me in
Boy
the upper
version?
right hand corner, I'm
you
fine.
you missed the joke there, which by the way, good old DM would, I'm sure, respect. Here, listen to the punchline.
Is this the Soulja Boy version?
Is this the Soulja Boy version of Metal Gear Solid on the Soulja consoles?
Oh,
And I think the other clip is just kind of the same.
it is. For some reason, if you have it set for some reason
Oh, this sucks.
on multi-sampling, for some reason it runs fine until you get to these guys that have the cloaked uniforms on, and for some reason it just geeks out the entire emulator for some reason. I don't know why.
By the way,
Because at first I thought it was my PC. I'm like, oh my god, my PC can't handle that. That's straight. But then I'm like, wait a minute. The people talking in chat sound fine. They're not stuttering. The stream isn't dropping any frames, so it is not my PC. It's got to be the emulator.
so
It does not like it.
that was our weekly
So-
clips. As long as you guys keep clipping stuff, we keep putting them on the
Oh,
stream.
yeah.
So get your clips in each week as we stream. It could be anything from something you found impressive to mostly what people actually clip, and that's just different fails of
Yeah.
what goes on. So mostly of Harmac fail. Harmac gets way more clips than I do, and for good reason. So
Because I fail a lot more.
that is
And I mean,
true.
and the sad part is, the failing that you would see is I'm always playing these games on easy because I know that if I play them on even normal, we're going to be playing this game for months. If I play it on easy, I could probably get through it quicker, but I'm still going to die a lot. And all the Metal Gears, no excuse. They've all been on easy, and if you've noticed, I mean, for crying out loud, in Metal Gear 2, I was playing on easy, and I slipped on bird shit, and I died.
It's true.
So
There's a clip of
I
that.
mean,
There's a clip
yeah,
of that.
you literally, and the thing that really made me laugh about the whole thing was when he was walking along it, you heard, like, you know, how it sounds like if a shoe slips or something, yeep, you know.
Well, no, the best
You
part about
heard
that one was you're like, oh, I can't slip on this bird shit, and then you're like, whoops, and then
I was like, oh.
right off a cliff you went. All right, but I want to go ahead and move on here because we're pressed for time.
Yep.
I have to take care of something, but I want to talk about two more things. First of all, LOV Eric did respond.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to take the calls now, so let's
Okay.
give LOV Eric a call. I've got plenty of questions, including one that just came in. So let's call LOV
Nice.
Eric and see what he's up to, and then we'll get to one last topic, and then we will end things here.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
LOV.
Hey, Harmac. Hey, Al.
Hey, so I'm gonna get right to the point here because there's a ton of questions tonight.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
So a ton, like literally a ton.
Why?
So first of all, first question: what are you doing
I'll get
right
to the
now?
point. Let me make this short and simple.
I just finished playing League, and I'm watching a YouTube video. I'm getting ready to eat.
All right, whoever guessed League, you win nothing.
Drink a beer.
Drink a beer.
Drink a beer.
All right. So here we got a list of questions here, in no random order. We talked about cartoons tonight, Eric. What cartoons did you watch growing up as a kid? And do you watch any League cartoons?
No League cartoons, though they are coming out with an animated series, which I will be watching when it does come out. But
Oh,
growing
God.
up, I mean, I watched like anything on Nickelodeon growing up, or some various Cartoon Network shows. So like I don't know, Rugrats, Hey Arnold, SpongeBob, Rocko's Modern Life. What else? Johnny Bravo.
Oh, Johnny Bravo. Hell
I even
yeah.
watched some of the old like Bugs Bunny stuff when I was really young.
Were you ever offended that Elmer Fudd carried a shotgun?
No.
Okay, well there you go. All right, next question. This is from TP Poker. He says, "Yes, my next question for LOV Eric is ... Given how disgusting your behavior was at the wedding, what did you wake up and regret doing, and what was his or her name? By the way, your Halo gameplay is impeccable."
You can't see my Halo gameplay, I don't think, can he?
Well, we did clips tonight. I threw that Halo part in from yesterday.
Okay.
Nice.
None of that happened. And when I came home from the wedding, I actually watched after most of the drunk people there because I was the only person that could hold their liquor. And I was the oldest person probably in the house, sadly.
All right.
So I was kind of like the dad, getting people. I was cutting up limes for people's Coronas and shit like that.
So
that's
you were
scary
you were
shit.
a dad to the kids swinging the swords.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Yorkshire Evil Pudding Reincarnated wants to know, what was your favorite toy?
Like growing up.
Yeah, I guess he literally just wrote, "What is your favorite toy?"
Who asked that? Sorry.
Evil 1976.
Evil favorite toy. Well, the first thing that pops into my mind was the White Ranger's sword. I used to have this White Ranger sword that would like light up with red lights, but the whole sword was white, and I loved that sword growing up. That was like one of my favorite toy weapons.
That's kind of
The,
cool.
the White Power Ranger sword.
There you go. White Power Ranger sword is his favorite toy.
Should have gotten the green one. That.
Max says you should have got the green one. That's on you.
I mean,
The one that played
that's
the one that played the
I can't even
tune.
picture it. So
Let's see here. Another question here. I think this is also from Poker. Ask LOV Eric, which ass cheek weighs more on Nia Jax, in your opinion?
which ass cheek weighs more? So he's saying Nia Jax has like a Biggie Smalls kind of ass.
I
haven't noticed. I mean, Poker might be staring at her ass more than me, but if I had to guess, I would say they're probably equal in size.
But which was
So she's
bigger?
well balanced.
So you're saying she's okay?
They're
okay.
they're equal in size.
All
They're
right.
not her ass cheeks. Neither one is bigger than the other. They're both big.
So in your opinion, the ass cheek ratio is
It's
50-50.
50-50.
Okay. Next question. Are you playing League of... Well, I can't say that anymore. Are you playing LOV with Ninja?
No.
Would you consider playing
No.
with Ninja?
Sure.
Would you consider playing with a group of ninjas?
Only if they are led by Takira or what's his name?
Akira Tozawa?
Akira Tozawa. Thank you.
Okay.
Knew I said that
I
wrong.
like that response. That's good. All right, moving right along here. Ask LOV Eric, why doesn't he answer the phone the first time you fucking call?
Because I was playing a ranked league match, and I'm not gonna let you fuck up my game. Sorry.
Good old DM.
Oh, shit.
Good old DM. It's your fault.
We dropped that. Sorry. Say that again. Sorry.
So that was a good old DM question. He wanted to know that.
What was the question? Sorry.
Why don't you answer the phone the first time when we call?
Oh, that. Yeah. Okay. That was good old DM. Gotcha.
I hear my dog barking. And
That's because she's barking a lot.
ask LOV Eric why he called you an effing a-hole when playing Halo.
Who called who an effing a-hole?
You called me an effing a-hole while
I
playing
did?
Halo. Yes, when I
did?
shot the guy over in the hallway.
Oh. Yeah. Because that was just wrong. You don't shoot innocent people like that, Al. You fucking asshole.
It's a game.
I mean, I could normally sympathize you, but
God, shut
you know,
up.
I would like to see that again, if we don't mind.
What again?
I felt like we just went down this hole. Oh, never mind.
He called you a fucking idiot.
Stay back, you're not turning me into one of those.
See what again? The execution of Halo NPCs?
Yeah, he did. He called me a fucking idiot. That's what happened. That's what happened. He called me a fucking idiot.
I didn't call you. At least not now.
And last question. What is the backstory of this week's golf tournament? I don't know the name of it because Phil didn't put it down. I've not looked at it. And
Well, if I don't know what the name of it is, I can't help. I'm not playing the golf tournaments. I don't know the name.
Yeah. I don't know. He wants to know if Del Griffith will be doing a TikTok dance video. I'm not sure what that means.
I would say that is unlikely.
All right.
Del Griffith, boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants.
Well, that is Ask LOV Eric for this week. Thank you, Eric, once again for participating.
Thank you, Eric.
Sure, least I can do.
And we'll check in with you next week with some more questions. Everybody was busy this week. Thank you.
All right. See you later.
LOV Eric, everybody. I want to close with this last one here. This is crazy to me. This is absolutely crazy to me.
What's that?
There was a major leak this week.
Oh, a major leak.
A major leak. So I'll give you some.
What is this?
Give you some backstory. Everybody remembers Goldeneye on the N64, right?
Yes.
So apparently there was plans in 2011, 2012ish because now Xbox owns Rare.
Right.
There were plans to remake Goldeneye and release it on the Xbox 360. But apparently before they even got the licensing from MGM, who owns Goldeneye, they just basically took the N64 game and skinned it like in high resolution. But it worked. Like everything, they did the entire game. They programmed the entire game for the Xbox 360.
Oh, wow.
And they even dumped it on they used to have like this service where if you were a developer or a beta tester, authorized by Microsoft, you would download it off of this Xbox store where everything was free basically, and they had it listed on there for an hour, and somebody downloaded it and ripped it.
Oh, wow.
They pulled it back within an hour because they could not get the licensing for the James Bond license from MGM, because MGM apparently knew at this point how big Goldeneye was, and they wanted probably some ridiculous cut of money. So
yeah, sounds about right.
So in the hour it was up, it was basically downloaded onto a modded Xbox years ago, and it has now just been released to the public for download.
Holy crap.
And I believe, actually I don't believe, I have a copy.
No shit.
And I wanted
Nice.
I wanted to just do this real quick because I want to show you like what this game, they didn't even finish the title menus, but if you see like how far they got in the game, I'm just firing up like a second of it here.
Okay.
I hope it actually works is my thing, because I don't know how strenuous this emulator is, but there's a little Easter egg on the title menu that's, I don't know if it's a nod to Nintendo or if it's like a knock on Nintendo. I'm not quite sure what they meant by it here, but I'm going to fire this up here, and I'm going to go ahead and shoot this over to the other window here and see if this will, there it is, I think. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to open this, and you should see, it takes a minute to load and pop up, and hopefully it goes. Hopefully I don't lock up here, and hopefully I have the computer resources to run this, because this is a Xbox 360 emulator that up until this week I had no idea existed. But I just want to show you guys that this was a real thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully it works. Takes a minute to load. Just warning you.
Or never.
Yeah, or never. It loaded up for me earlier. Actually, it shows it loading on the top. Maybe it just doesn't have the resources to run it. Damn. Let me try one more time. Oh, now it just up crashed. Hang on. It's up and fucking crashed. It's like, fuck you. I had it running earlier and I tried it, and it actually... Oh, here it goes. You see that now?
Yeah.
So it says, do you expect me to remove this Nintendo logo screen? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. So I don't know if that was like a nod. So here it is. It's booting up. I don't even know if I'm allowed to show this. Yeah, you can plug in a 360 controller to it, and you can actually play it. The only thing that doesn't work is the achievement section and return to arcade. But this is how much they had done. The multiplayer's done.
Wow.
You could have done System Link, which you had multiple Xbox 360s, or local play.
Dude, nice.
And here's the coolest part right here. So when you jump into the game, hopefully it loads. It takes a minute for it's like actually loading.
And Pierce Bronson and everything. Nice.
So you can actually jump in and out of the gameplay footage. Come on, damn it. Like you can there it goes. So this is the upscaled version right here. Like this is the 360. You can jump back and forth to the N64 at will.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's a touch of a button. So this is exactly like the N64 one, except it's dual analog stick. And see, now I jump back to the 64 one. But if I tap it again, it goes right back into the 360. So if you prefer to play the 64 one with the 64 graphics, you could do it and it would have worked.
Wow.
And this is what they had planned, and the whole game is done.
I would love to see them do that with like the original MGS. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and you can play this. Like I can hook up 4 360 controllers right now and play this multiplayer. But anyway,
that is really cool.
I just wanted to show you guys that because I thought that was pretty neat. I thought that was pretty interesting. That the whole game was done.
I got one more thing to announce here.
All right.
Now I'm sure you guys might have heard. Google is, I think, going to not do it yet, but they're getting close to kind of putting the kibosh on Stadia. They are shutting down their in-house studios. So unless you're a company that wants to make it for Stadia, that's the only games you'll be getting on it from now on. So apparently they're losing a shit ton of money on Stadia. So that I just heard that the other day. I was just like, damn, really? Wow. I mean, I know we called it back when it first came out, but that was quicker than I thought.
I had that too. It's not looking good for them, man. They're closing their. Just don't buy any games on there. It's not going to be looking promising. I don't even think from the future going out.
The one thing that they did wrong was they overhyped it and underdelivered. If they'd have just underhyped it and kind of overdelivered, I think it might have done better, because everyone said that there was like almost virtually no lag on it, which was really cool. The only problem is that until they get the whole internet in this country anyway, internet infrastructure up to par, only people in the cities will be able to play it. If you're out in out in bumfuck Egypt, kind of like in the boonies, you're not going to be able to play it because you're not going to have a strong enough internet connection.
Oh, it's that and the fact that you got to deal with data caps. There's a whole bunch of things they thought they'd be able to get around and work deals with cable companies.
Yep.
And they weren't able to work them. They promised like 4K 60 streaming, and they barely have delivered that. I don't think they actually have delivered that at all.
But that's, I mean, Stadia's got it right. I mean, they have it right. I mean, obviously, I kind of see gaming eventually going this way, but until you get, this is kind of why, depending on where you live, you either have a cable company choice, or like where I'm at, maybe 2 or 3. Monopolies are great, aren't they? Because I mean, really, if like they go to whatever cable company you have, Alan, they're like, hey, if they play Stadia, can you lift the data cap? They ain't about to do that. That's where they make their money. Nope. No, they're not going to do that. And until they, I mean, because eventually that's where gaming is going to go. These cable companies are not going to have a choice. I mean, so for right now, they're just getting all the money they can get out of this. But, because as games get bigger and bigger, obviously you're going to be using more bandwidth just to, if you didn't get the disc, just to download the damn thing. So, that's why, like, here I was lucky, I've got a choice. Wide Open West, they said they'll never do a data cap, whereas Comcast, screw them. $50 extra a month if you want unlimited. Oh, kiss my ass. Like, you can't afford to, really? Come on.
One last thing before we go.
It's really sad. It's really sad, though. I just think Stadia is going to be like, Stadia, I think, is going to be kind of like the Sega CD. It did have potential, but it's just a little bit too ahead of its time. you know, and that's what I think, because I do see that
Sega CD
eventually.
had exclusive games. This one does
Yeah,
not have
'cause
any.
now,
apparently.
yeah, if they're not going to have any in-house games, I don't think companies are going to be making it for Stadia too much. If you got, PS5 and Xbox, that's where they're going to make most of their money from.
Yep.
You know.
One last thing,
So
and
I
I
think-
gotta get out of here. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
No, go
gotta
ahead. dude.
wrap it up here. UNC Phil says it's the Skrillex Open, which is the name of the golf tournament. And yeah, that is Del Griffith. Once got very drunk over here, somebody turned on Skrillex and he did some dance moves.
Oh, I saw that video. That's hilarious.
And there's a
Yes.
video of it, so someday it'll have to surface. And then I think he fell
really
into
good.
I think he fell into my laundry basket or something. Like he was just
He
dancing
did.
all over the place.
He was
Oh.
hammered. Yeah.
We'll talk more on this next week because we're already at the 2-hour 15 mark. And I
Well,
gotta
I
go.
won't be here next
'cause
week.
I mean the week after. Sorry.
Yeah.
We'll have something going on next week. Just have to figure that out. We'll talk.
Yep.
You'll hear from us in the week. But all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. But as always, thanks you guys for watching. Please give a follow if you haven't done so yet. Harmac, you can catch him on twitch.tv/Harmac1.
Yep.
Don't forget to follow Scales175. That guy streams all the time. He's a beast.
Oh my God. Yeah. Jesus.
Follow him as well. And I am on Monday through Thursdays from 8:30 to 10. So and I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima and then Halo on Thursdays. And Harmac is playing Metal Gear
The original,
Solid.
the PSX version, and then the one after that is going to be the Twin Snakes GameCube version. So you're going to get a critique of me, what I think of the two and which one I like better.
All right. So we'll see you guys back on Monday for more streams. Have a good weekend. Party hard. And we'll see you guys later.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.